Greetings, dearies. How have you been? Come on in, have a seat. I hope you've brought some pen and paper. There'll be way more math this time. I hope you're prepared. Today we'll be reversing things a little. See what I did there? Okay, I'm gonna stop. Yeah, we'll be doing 37's story first to finish it, complete it, and when we're done and still have some time, we'll do 2 more parts from chapter 5. Let's go. Okay, so last time nobody complained about my voice acting, so I will keep it going. Yeah, and if you don't like it, shame on you for not speaking up about it. That's what you get. By the way, I apologize in advance if my voice sounds stuffed at some point. Spring is here, my allergies are killing me, and there's nothing much I can do. I'm not supposed to use my meds for a few days. So yeah, bear with me. Let's go. AR4, behind the puzzle. Another problem, huh? That's how you say hello to a lady. Anyway.
What do you need?
So did you get the result you wanted, 37? Maybe after a few more questions, I'll discover the common pattern.
I think...
Alright, let's hurry. We still have time for one more question before dinner.
Oh.
Hurry up. Oh, you're right, Sophia. I forgot to use the space bar. I've been clicking, not clicky. Not clicky. She flips through her notebook, seemingly with a new idea.
It's all right.
I'm glad you agree with the suggestion. Let's continue on as it's written.
No.
We don't have to verify the same thing over and over. Initially, I just reduced the sequence by 3, and now there are 2 more duplicates here. 3 and 4.
Subtract 1, then subtract 1.
Alright, let's keep some redundant parts. I'm sure we'll clear up the rest soon enough.
Hello there.
Who else wants to join the game? The eager little boy is the first to step into the field.
Like I said.
I've been thinking about this while watching everyone play. I want to choose the hexagon. Because it's perfect, and it's the number 6, just like our leader.
Yes, exactly.
But he hardly ever participates in such games. At this point, I prefer your approach. 37 nods in approval of the little boy's active participation.
Yay!
Yay! Thank you very much.
What's the next question?
This question is somewhat different from the previous ones. Based on the description, in what position is a hexagon?
For instance...
I'll show the notebook to each of you, and you just need to say the corresponding order. I cannot reach the same pitch I did last time with 37 because of my nose. I'm annoyed.
The question is...
My position? Oh, I see it now. There's more than one shape on my right.
This is...
Among the 2 shapes adjacent to me on both sides, there is no monad. I'm neither the furthest left nor the furthest right.
No.
There are no shapes on my right, but there's a big crowd on the left. Now it's my turn. Standing to my left is a line segment. I see. So we have no shapes on the right. So we start with this. The line adjacent is the line, is to the left. Then you're in the middle. Then it's a hexagon and the monad. Hey! That was faster this time. Oh, reading. There we go.
Sophia!
Was the game helpful at all? Wait, maybe if I listen to her voice better, my pitch will come back, but I doubt it because I'm stuffed. 37 rushed over. Sophia descended from the playground. Were the problems fun, inspiring, or perhaps dull? Should the results be logged or just discarded in the corner of the lab?
Actually...
Well, they weren't as dull as I expected. Breaking down the logic was pretty straightforward. For a kid just arriving on the island, it's a decent puzzle.
Perhaps...
If I played as a kid, I might have warmed up to math more. Perhaps I'd even have understood the whole everything is numbers thing a little sooner. But in the here and now, they don't feel very practical, nor enlightening. I see.
Let me think.
No luck, it seems. What could be missing? With obvious disappointment, 37 flipped through the notebook once more, diving deep into her thoughts again. It was getting dark, and the others began leaving the beach. It seemed 37's game didn't yield any results. For her assistant, this seemed like the expected outcome. His games appeared to be more of a basic educational tool than something profound. It's time for dinner. We've run out of time we requested from 6. There's...
No.
Wait, it's not over until I go for dinner. Oh my god, I love when she says, no. She's so cute. 37 stared at the grid lines on the beach as if she was rooted there. The puzzle represented by those numbers would be on her mind all night, replacing thoughts of roasted rabbit and honeyed bread. Although it was clear that this number sequence didn't hold any profound meaning at first glance, what if everyone just hadn't looked deep enough?
Perhaps.
I have some free time tomorrow morning. Maybe we can give it another shot then. When Apollo first rides out chasing the dawn, we might discover a fresh perspective.
Huh?
Do you think so? Otherwise you'd stay here all night? Sophia sighed, once again realizing she was indulging 37. I don't understand 37. Why are you so convinced there's some hidden significance in the sequence of answers? Huh? Because it's right there. I feel it, if only vaguely. When you jotted down these numbers, they contain a strong emotion. So you're going with your intuition? Intuition. At the mention of that word, the girl's expression dimmed. Back in her childhood, before she came to the island, when she was known as an arcanist, she was familiar with this term. Sensing, listening, understanding, besieging, being fiercely focused, and seizing inspiration. It was all familiar to her. But she couldn't see the flash of genius whenever she pleased, playing around with them as if she was catching butterflies. What did having such an ability really mean?
Sophia!
Come on! If you don't get to the canteen now, only the soup base will be left. 37 had maneuvered nimbly over a line of seagull footprints and waved to beckon Sophia ahead. Hold on, I'm coming. And remember, not every question needs an answer. We have more important things to do now. Okay, we're moving on. By the way, if you want to know how my Lilia pulls when I didn't get her, I lost her again. I forgot to read the title. Great. What was not expressed? Thank you, game. Mornings on the beach were meant for quiet strolls and relaxation. Sophia's plan to arrive early and clear her mind seemed wise, but the things rarely went as expected here.
Sophia!
You're late! I've been here since Apollo rose to meet the dawn. The crowd surrounding 37 seemed even larger than yesterday as she hopped and waved at Sophia. At the center of the crowd was another familiar figure.
Meaning?
Good. The corrector's here too. What perfect timing. I know what you're all thinking if you've played Chapter 5, but I'm still a simp. And have no shame. Let's go in.
Attention, please.
Hey everyone, gather around and take a look. 210 was holding up a magazine. My submission isn't any more childish than this game she's playing. Some chuckled. It was a common occurrence for the islanders familiar with their banter. 210 confidently presented the magazine to Sophia and 37. The magazine pages were a mess, amid frivolous news and various announcements, and a crumpled mathematical proof huddled in the corner. Fortunately, the author was still identifiable.
This is...
A treatise on the linguistic structure of truth. 210, is that your name? The towering theorist just spread his hands out in an overproud twist without confirming.
In fact?
Certainly it was no easy feat, given our island's isolation, to get this published. But where there's a will, there's a way. Submitting these mathematical essays to outside publication is just the beginning of my many accomplishments to come. I think he's overblowing the difficulty of reaching out. And is this really a mathematical treatise? It seems like a lot of words. Sophia flipped through the magazine quickly. It was nothing more than a common railway journal. 210's essay was listed in the excerpts and anecdotes column. To publish a paper on truth in a magazine like this? Huh? The editor's comment is, Although the content is obscure, the wording is elegant and worth citing. Well, he's a rhetorician, is he not? They're supposed to be good with words. That's impressive, nonetheless. The compliment was genuine, and the already haughty theorist's confidence grew even more. 37 crossed her arms in a breathless huff.
No, that's not right.
I've read that article. It's pure sophistry. Your premise is flawed and central thesis overcomplicated. You tell him, girl. Somebody talks back to him. The beauty of mathematical truth lies in its simplicity. Its nonsensical embellishments only lead to misinterpretation. It's cumbersome, frivolous, and most importantly, it lacks good process.
I think...
This is all just clever rhetoric, lacking any substance. Burn. Wasted space and meaningless platitudes. She keeps going.
Meaning?
Is that so? More meaningless than all this child's play? Or perhaps this game is simple enough for you? Are these piddling lessons in basic reasoning and arithmetic the truth you're looking for?
Have fun, 37.
Well, that makes sense for a child. Carry on with your fun and games then. The children on the beach had eagerly gathered around 210, forming a lively crowd. At an age when curiosity reigns, they were always interested in this kind of biting debate. The arguments, conflicts, grandeur, and aspirations converged on a single number.
210. Your number.
Your numbers clearly contains 2, 3, 5, and 7. You've just lumped them together without using them effectively. I forgot to change my voice, sorry. Oh, so now you're accusing me of being insincere? That I'm making frivolous gestures only to flaunt my intelligence?
Well, that's outstanding.
How very logical of you. But all this debate allows me to speak the truth that the others are concealing from you. These are games for children, 37.
Meaning?
There are no revelations to be gleaned from your stubbornly pursuing some childish arithmetic.
In fact?
Oh, but we all trust the brilliance of our star of Hermes, and oh, so willingly serve as a companion star under your guidance. But surely our brilliant star should consider others' duties and responsibilities, no? Sophia stepped in, breaking the tension at just the right moment.
Actually...
Don't be so serious, the 110. We're just passing the time before breakfast with some games, and 37 isn't forcing anyone else to join in. But I agree, perhaps these games are too simple. In your opinion, what changes would it need? Obviously, the question should be harder, more fitting our caliber, and there should be scores and rankings and some sort of elimination revival mechanism. So basically, he's saying, unless there's something to win, it's not fun. Like, you have to be the best of the best, and this game doesn't allow you to be something like that. You either solve the problem or don't solve it. All the participants should be grouped on the beach, competing in groups of 3, and special area-specific time slots should be scheduled. See, again, competition.
No.
Absolutely not! 37 forcefully interrupted 210's excited rule-making.
Object!
This game and its questions were left behind by you for a reason. It's simple because it was designed for children. I don't want to compete with anyone. I just want to understand the hidden meanings within the sequence of answers you left. Of course, if it were more complex, then the participant might enjoy the thrill of its intellectual pursuit.
I think...
But the beauty of the game lies in simplicity, just like numbers themselves. Stripped of all embellishments, 1 is 1.
The essence won't change.
People, stones, trees, and physical things decay, deteriorate, and change, but 1 remains. This is a simple game, yet it holds the most wonderful wisdom.
You haven't truly understood it.
There's no need to make simple so complicated. All these facades may grab attention, but it strays from the game's true essence.
Meaning?
So you yourself admit it's dull and monotonous. I simply articulated the same meaning with words to make them more convincing without distorting the truth. Some of his followers in the crowd nodded as they listened. They were captivated by his rebuttal. Such analysis, discussions, and endless numbers was an everyday occurrence in the school of thought. 37's response was to draw several squares on the beach. I learned about this from Sophia. Hopscotch is a popular children's game elsewhere. The rules are simple. 1 hops from one end to the other. It was easy enough to learn, and I've never forgotten it.
Meaning?
Sir Star has learned hopscotch. I hope you weren't expecting a surprise. No, I mean, it's easy to play because of its simplicity. For this reason, it spread from where Sophia was before, and now the children of our island play it too. The group of children who played on the beach yesterday began to laugh. That's right.
That's great.
37's game is fun too. 37 acknowledged the young supporters and carried on. I missed the line. If we complicate the game further designed with new rules and competition, won't we lose its true essence? It was a splendid debate, and some followers had already started betting seashells on which side would win. On the islands, such debates might continue from early morning until the time of silence. If that were to happen, 37's game would be unable to continue, and more important research would tragically remain on hold. The corrector felt the need to intervene.
I think...
Both sides brought strong points, I believe.
Of course.
You're right. Yes, of course, 37 is right. About what exactly? As you said, it's a children's game. Its essence cannot and will not change. I am curious, though, about what insights you can glean from such simplicity.
Or?
Everyone can see the answers at a glance, yet you believe there's some profound meaning in this combination of answers. 200 spread his hand in a mocking gesture and shrugged. It's just time wasted, nothing compared to the pivotal proof uncovered by our great stud of Hermes.
Have fun, 37.
Go on, figure out how much this children's game is worth caring about. I'm eager to see the outcome. He's a hater, but he's a hot hater. I would have asked if the abstract Baldy shining is 210, but then I realized it's his wreath. I'm like, who's that Baldy?
Of course.
The game participants have to choose a shape, and I'll take this triangle.
Well, that's outstanding.
I was curious why you didn't choose it, as 3 is perfect and harmonious and really ought to be to your liking.
But you,
But
our
this-
star of Hermes, are the gold hidden in the sand on the never-ending beach.
But this star really suits you. You finally admit you are the star of Hermes.
No.
Is
Doesn't
there-
make sense.
Is there any connection between these two? Look at her going sassy though, I love it.
Just fragments.
You always correlate things that are completely different in nature. 37 clearly has more examples for refuting. She takes a deep breath, straightening her back like a seagull perched on the nearby rocks, seemingly ready to throw out more arguments. Guys, I love her. The more... At first I was a bit, not going crazy for her, but the more she shows her personality, she's really adorable. Very well written character. Alright, now is not the time for debate. The corrector timely intervenes to prevent the argumentative atmosphere from deteriorating.
Fine.
Sophie is right. We can forget what's important. We can't forget what's important. Oh, I remember. A children's game. He's so bitter.
Well, that's outstanding.
Let's start then. We'll see who's more correct in due course. I'm not good at reading today.
For instance,
A merchant needs to transport a wolf, a sheep, and cabbage across the river, but can only take one at a time. When he's not around, the wolf will eat the sheep, and the sheep will eat the vegetables. How many trips does he need to make to cross the river?
and then
This question.
Of course.
It's very simple, as expected. 200 quickly takes over the
Well, that's
conversation.
outstanding.
How about I help you assign those steps? I plan to experience the game for myself. You can take a little rest.
Or,
Oh, it seems you don't need the ladder. There is no sign of fatigue from 37. She holds her notebook high, trying to get it level with 210's line of sight.
it's like this.
I think this is clear enough. Remember, don't miss a single word.
attention, please.
We'll start with myself. The triangle represents loading the wolf onto the boat. Of course he'd take the wolf.
Or,
Next is the monad, loading the ship onto the boat.
In fact,
The line segment, put the garbage on the boat. He quickly and brutally rattles off several corresponding steps.
Sophia.
Now it's the turn of our sort of Hermes and the
Like I
corrector.
said,
And me, please don't forget me.
That's true.
The hexagon, good. So, you represent unload all cargo.
Of course.
Finally, 37, the star of Hermes, row the boat to the right bank, and Sophia, the methodical rectangle, row the boat to the left bank.
Have fun, 37.
Please check if I've said anything wrong or missed anything. Sophia takes the notebook from 37, reading it word for word. After careful scrutiny by the corrector, the answer is deemed correct.
Thanks a lot.
No need to delay further, let's just start sorting. So, okay, I have an idea, but I'm not sure it's correct, so let's try. I think you put the garbage first on the boat. No, he will row the boat to the left bank, put the cabbage on the boat, row the boat to the right. Oh, okay. No.
A few moments later.
Let's pretend I didn't do this about 10 times already. I think I figured it out. So yeah, 0 failures. Failure never happened. I don't know what you're talking about. This is a solution to our problem. Watch. We put the sheep on the boat. We take it to the right bank, unload cargo. Then we go back to the left, grab the wolf, go to the right, unload cargo, give me the ship back. I go back to the left bank. I unleash the sheep there. I take the cabbage with me. I go to the right bank. I unload my cargo. And finally, watch, I go back to the left bank, take the sheep, then go to the right bank and unload. I know. No, please hold the applause. This don't need. Yeah, let's
Thanks
keep going.
a lot.
It looks like it will be quicker and more interesting to proceed in groups of 3, as I suggested. By the way, I got it because I remembered it was either 210 or 37 who said it, but they said we will have to go back and forth. So I was like, oh yeah, they told us that. I wasn't paying attention. Okay.
In fact,
What's interesting without a bit of competition?
this is what people call genius.
You should consider what I said, 37.
object.
Of course, I considered it. First, debate never ceases with a temporary pause. It's like a shark lurking underwater, slowly moving. That has found a good opportunity, showing its dorsal fin while the corrector gazes at the water. If she doesn't jump on him by the end of this and bite him like she did with Regulus, we'll see that later in chapter 5, I'll be so mad. I wanted to attack him. Like, debate over, now we're biting. Okay, moving on. Just numbers. That was a tough one. It really got me. The sight in front of them seemed much like it always did. The salty breeze and the grains of sand carried by it. 2 figures strolled hand in hand. No one cared about the children sneaking away from the congregation. I just had to be careful to avoid getting caught. Wow, this place is so beautiful and wide. It's much bigger than my yard back home. Have you ever played hopscotch? Sophia pointed towards several lines drawn in the sand with shells. Together, the lines formed clumsy squares. Jump from here to there, but don't step on the lines or squash the shells. I used to play this game before I came to the island. It's different from hide and seek. You can play it alone too. That sounds fun. But I can't understand the meaning of the lines. They don't form a pattern I can recognize. Maybe I need more time to understand their meaning. Girl, stop. And then I'm an overthinker. 37 playfully kicked up some sand, twirling around. Why do we only jump on the squares? Adding a 9-point circle to this game would be nice. 9-point circle? Girl. 4 inscribed circles, 12 tangential circles. It'd be amazing if you only jump from the points. Why try to jump on the points when you can jump inside a square? Why do we have to be so on point? She shared her thoughts, trying to convey what she saw in her mind's eye. Her tone grew earnest and persistent, trying to illustrate the things she imagined. Yes, it was like endlessly picking up shiny pebbles on the beach. Just like today.
Why would you think so?
210 always tries to make simple things complicated. Look who's talking. What did we just see? What did we just experience? You just wanted us to finish the game's problems. You know, it's interesting though, because, you know, even though she overcomplicates things too by over-analyzing them, she doesn't want to over-analyze it to the point 210 does, that adds words that are not needed. Like, she tries to overthink it only mathematically wise, whereas he uses more words to explain things, I think. I tried to explain it more, but I failed, so I'm gonna keep reading, because, like, I cannot explain it the way I want to explain it.
The scripture says...
Well, of course, the scriptures say, one who does not divide the problem into 3 parts cannot achieve true wisdom. Oh, he called him stupid! But that's no reason to propose 3-player matches. The present scene intertwines seamlessly with past memories and affected by time. The girl's rare smile piqued her companion's curiosity as she came over.
Huh?
Sophia, what's on your mind? What's made you so happy? The fact you're defending yourself. Not that she needed it, but, like, I'm amused too.
I
was thinking, since the emanation, we've hardly ever gathered together like this. 6 became 6, you've taken over your mother's research, and 210 is always so busy with these proofs and fraternizing. Even discussions like the one we just had happen so rarely now. Yet after all this time, you remain so resolute. It's like you never changed. Maybe you haven't noticed, but I have changed. I think she has. Like I told you, I find it fascinating how she's trying to approach things in a better way than she did as a child when it comes to Sophia. Raising her hand high, 37 gestured from the ground to her head. I've grown taller than before. Oh, that's what she meant. And my hair is longer and harder to manage now. It takes much longer for you to comb it. Not this surface level changes, 37.
Fine.
Oh, then I'm not quite sure what you mean.
Sophia!
Never mind that. I need your help, Sophia. We're down to the last 2 questions, just a stone throw from the answer. I was hoping we could finish it together. Let's finish 210 together. I messed up.
It's like this.
Everything went as I said, and it didn't take much time.
Perfect number.
Just one more shape to go, so we need one more person willing to play. 37 turns to the crowd, waving her arms in open invitation. A little girl who had been watching for a long time is nudged forward by her friend.
Or like this.
I can do it. I've wanted to choose for a long time this last heptagon. I'd like to pick it. 7 is a unique, respected number. The believers nod in agreement. This number is quite familiar to them.
Sure.
As a prime number, it is indeed special in some ways, but that's not important now. Well, we'll know the answer soon enough. All 7 participants are ready. 37 tilts her head, unconcerned about the discussions around her. She doesn't take back the notebook from Sophia.
Sophia!
We have to complete the game together, so this question is for you, Sophia. I'm leading everyone for the last question.
Here you go.
Well, I can't think of any problem with that. 210 didn't make any mistakes just now. If he could do it smoothly, of course you can too. I mean, if he can do it, why can't you, you know? She keeps putting him down. I love it.
Well...
Okay, I'll try to be careful not to mess up. She'll be careful not to mess up, but what about me? What is this problem gonna be? This question is, arrange everyone's seats in order. Where will the rectangle sit?
I understand.
The rectangle. That would require confirming my order. Firstly, the rectangle is on the left half of the line, but not the leftmost. Oh, it's like the previous one, I get it. The one before the previous one.
Sorry.
According to what the notebook says, I'm not adjacent to the line segment. And I'm as far from the monad as a triangle is from the pentagram. I'm adjacent.
Really good.
Sorry, I'm adjacent to the heptagon. We can play together. Oh, he's adjacent to the little girl.
That's great.
My seat is right in the middle of the line.
Of course.
Unfortunately, I'm as far away from the Star of Hermes as possible. The pentagram is almost at the farthest distance. Okay, so my voice is dead. I can no longer do 37's voice, so I'll be reading normally for her. I can do the others still. The triangle is not in the seat adjacent to me. So it's a quiet seat.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sophia. I knew you'd do great.
That's great.
Only the final sorting remains. Don't worry, it's pretty easy
It's
too.
all right.
Glad I could
They are
help.
beautiful.
The corrector hands the notebook back to 37, observing the squares in the
I
sand.
think...
Maybe it's like this. Let me try. I'll try too. So, these two, the pentagram and the triangle, are supposed to be far away from each other. So I'm guessing that one is on the left end side and the other is on the end right side. But what's in between them is a little confusing to me. So I'm on the left but not leftmost, so this goes here. But then I'm thinking of wait.
And then...
Shush, I know, wait. Perhaps this center of the lineup adjacent to the heptagon line and star. No? Oh, these are all left? Oh well. This time I must have it right. It doesn't matter which one you put at the two ends, like if pentagram goes on the left and triangle goes on the right or vice versa. What matters is that they stay as far away from each other as possible. But then it didn't make sense to me that the triangle to pentagram equals my distance to monad that the line segment says. So I thought, okay, heptagon is in the center, and next to it has to be the hexagon, so it was either this side or this side. But I thought it has to be equal. So if from the pentagram to the triangle it takes 1, 2, 3, 4 squares, getting from the line to the monad should also be 4 squares. So I did it like this, as you can see. And then the rectangle that is on the left but not the leftmost could go here, and the hexagon that is adjacent to the heptagon goes here. I'm very smart today. I am surprised with myself. Closing her notebook, 37 felt every detail course through her body. The result was clear. From the beginning, everyone could see the number laid bare on the paper. 6333 434 533. I got my voice back because I eventually did take some medication. I shouldn't, but I cannot record with my nose 100% stuffed, so yeah. A composite number divisible by 41, its largest prime factor was 154474013. If you saw it as a sequence, it was a simple combination of 3, 4, 5, and 6. 3 appeared 6 times, 4 appeared twice, while 5 and 6 appeared once each. Whether you look at it as a number or a sequence, it still feels like something is missing. Hugh's annotated shapes must hold the key. I just haven't figured out what those little points mean yet. 37 pointing to an ink blotch on the notebook directly under the hexagon.
Or
It's just an accidental smear.
It's like this.
But look, there's the same mark below the question later on too.
in fact,
Sometimes, for convenience, they put a dot over repeating decimals in infinite series. That dot's above, but this one's below. Perhaps Sophia's father thought 6 had its limitations.
No, that's not right.
That makes no sense, it can't be. Having a sense of humor every now and then wouldn't hurt. He shrugged, pretending indifference to 37's rebuttal. I admit I overcomplicated Hugh's marks at first. There are so many possible attributes that they easily steered my thinking in the wrong direction. Remember what you said to me earlier. Don't complicate simple things.
Or,
Maybe there's no deep meaning in the symbols, maybe you've just made it complex.
No.
Absolutely
Doesn't make
not.
sense.
Hugh didn't leave these marks at random. Look, only the questions, his answers, and number 3 have this kind of pattern. It's a small puzzle related to the number of triangles.
I think...
My father did love geometric shapes. I think 37 might be onto something. Feeling supported, 37 confidently continued.
I
thought if I experienced the game firsthand, I'd understand the meaning behind these marks and sequences. But I still don't get it. There's
Let me
something
think.
missing here, and it's because I don't understand Hugh well enough. If I were Sophia...
oh,
So the conclusion is there is no secret to this game after all. In that case, it looks like I've won.
210.
Don't be so hasty,
The
210.
scripture says...
The learned remain silent. Listen attentively and take others' words seriously. So perhaps you will show yourself to be a proper learned scholar and let me finish without interruption? Yes, girl, you tell him. The teachings also exhort us to listen to the sound of the wind.
meaning?
They demand that we earnestly listen to everything to expand our thinking. Have you considered that I too am a part of everything? He's everything. Think about your arguments. Simple games can hold the most beautiful wisdom.
In fact,
Yet now you realize that this wisdom eludes you because you don't understand Hugh well enough. Can't you see, 37? I don't even need to knock your castle down. It's already a puddle of quicksand. You're so mean. 210 sarcastically shook his head, implying that the conclusion was self-evident. Unyielding, 37 crossed her arms.
You haven't truly understood it.
More meaningless rhetoric. Calm down and let me explain. The beauty of wisdom should apply to everyone, yet you want to uncover truths through personal relationships.
or
Maybe the sequence indeed holds meaning, but perhaps it's just the personal note Hugh gave to his daughter. After all, it's not a collection of axioms, it's a personal notebook. These numbers might only hold meaning for Hugh and Sophia, but what use do you have for them? The scripture also says, do not easily extend your right hand to others. In other words, one should attend to their own affairs. Yet, the Star of Hermes eagerly takes away others' proofs and treats them as her playthings.
meaning?
Are the materials left by your mother enough to pass the time? 210's mockery was evident in his words, but his opponent remained steadfast.
No.
The teachings mean that we shouldn't easily impart wisdom and knowledge to those who don't appreciate it. You've twisted its meaning. Once you enter the temple, you cannot turn back. In the pursuit of truth, insufficient knowledge is worse than total ignorance. Since I've begun exploring this, how can I stop halfway?
Essentially...
And the meaning of numbers isn't determined by anyone. They exist, unrelated to time, space, or who we are. They're not someone's property.
Right?
If none of us know the sequence, how can we assert its nature? Conversation veered again toward an endless back and forth. Oh no. The corrector felt torn, caught between the two. Mediating disputes was a strength, but these seemed, despite their emotions, to be a well-reasoned debate. Maybe she'd leave them to exhaust the truth. It lied more to their scholarly approach. As she pondered this, 37 sadly turned to her.
Uh-huh.
In that case, let Sophia be the judge. Make it harder for her. Uncover the secrets in the notebook and see who's right. I agree. Let the corrector determine the truth. Okay, so this is how it's going to be. She sighed, regretting her momentary hesitation. It will be too difficult to refuse the expectant gazes of her friends. Fine, I'll make the judgment. First, let me go over the game properly. Poor Sophia. Oh. Sand and gold. This island holds so many quirks. and 37 possesses the greatest of them all. She was born with her own set of numbers, always clear about where she's headed. When she speaks of those never-ending numbers on the beach, those beautiful proofs, it feels like coming face to face with eternity. At the same time, I deeply understand my own simplicity and ordinariness.
There's nothing wrong with letting the stars shine where they should. And those who look up will continue to look up.
Tidying the lab, managing her hair, listing supplies, receiving guests. There's no need for these little things to occupy 37's attention. Her time should be spent on more significant research. I disagree, but okay, like, it's fiction, that's why I'm going with it, but in real life, no. I don't think there's anyone who's less worthy of pursuing things they're interested in or doing big things, like in 37's case, research, what she has to research. If Sophia had something she's as interested in, she could as well research it without thinking, oh, I'm ordinary, I don't have such grand ideals, it's okay for me to just help her with her hair, clean the lab, and stuff like that. 37 should be doing chores as well, but because she's overthinking things and trying to find meaning in everything, she probably wouldn't be able to focus much to do this. Like, in the same way that it's difficult for Sophia to get into the mindset of 37 and have a big research because there's nothing she wants to overanalyze, I guess. It's difficult for 37 to do the things Sophia does exactly because she's overthinking everything around her, so she wouldn't be able to do such simple things without stopping all the time and getting confused about why nothing has deeper meaning. I guess that's how I see it, at least. But beyond all that, 37 is like a bright star newly born. She disregards conventions, is curious about many new things, and has playful, carefree spirit. Just like any other childhood friend. 37 has her own pursuits, and I have a task to complete. Verify the answers 37 gives. She touched her father's notebook, closing her eyes. She remembered many vivid fragments. Sifting sands on the beach, the sting of her fingers as she polished lenses, the fragrance of cinnamon and chickpeas lingering in the air. A ship cleaves through the water's surface, approaching the shore, before disintegrating amid fading cheers. Then everything moved forward, beyond the surging waves, back to humble streets. Memories from beyond the island that belonged exclusively to Sophia, reaching back to her blurry childhood impressions. She was different from that lone star, suspended in the sky. She was born to the tangible and belonged to the dim world of phenomena. She rummaged through her jar of memories, in search of some trinket worthy of trading for a coin. Indeed, she was a diligent, serious girl. And so, after examining every small stone in the jar, she finally found a satiating answer. I understand now. 63334345533. This isn't just a string of numbers, a sequence, a proverb, or some new truth we've yet to comprehend. It's a musical school. A musical school? What's that? The word wasn't within 37's scope of thought. She widened her eyes in surprise, showing her curiosity plainly.
Actually,
people often use this method to notate melodies. This musical score is the beginning of a song. It's quite a popular tune in my hometown, one which my father loved to hum. He must have poured his heart into these questions. Listen to Sophia sing a familiar song. I hope we get to listen to it. By the way, music is also full of math, so I'm pretty sure that if 37 gets to explore it more, she will like that too. The sea breeze whips over past rocks in geometric shapes, scattering a handful of fine sand. The grains gather into teeny mouse at the edges of her shoes. After helping 37 with the validation, the crowd dispersed into groups to go about their own business. Only a few figures remain on the beach.
Is everything All of it just about this number.
I think I still
Does it
remember...
explain everything?
Sorry. I think I still remember how the song goes. Oh, music? Love. Okay, there is numbers, okay. Because music is another thing I'm not knowledgeable at. Notes, I mean. We did learn about notes in junior high, but I've never used them ever since, so I don't remember anything. Okay, that's easy. 6, 3, 3, 3. Oh, is it the song we're listening in the background? Nice. Yes, that's a candy hidden in the jar among the stones. The calls of the seagulls, the sound of the waves crashing up and down, and the sound of my own breathing become calm and distant. Except for that song. Aww. If she could just recall the initial notes, the subsequent phrases would naturally follow. At first stumbling and hoarse, soon the song became fluent, resonating across the quiet beach.
Oh!
I knew numbers could be music, but why didn't I think of it earlier? I was so close. A musical score, but I've never heard of this notation method. 37 didn't stay low for long. She quickly perked up, gently praising her companion's revelation.
Brilliant!
That's a lovely song, and you sing it well, Sophia.
Well, that's outstanding.
I suppose everyone got what they wanted. You've solved the puzzle, Sophia uncovered the song her father left behind. And I won. At the end of the day, that's what matters to her.
Object!
Why? My initial theory was correct. This string of numbers did have a deeper meaning after all.
In fact,
But you glossed over the musical score. As I foresaw, this had nothing to do with you from the start. It's just a distant hometown ballad that a father left for his daughter with no profound meaning, no wonderful wisdom, no transcendent truth. There is a transcendent truth. It's called love. It is a sign of love that you wouldn't understand. You mathematical freak. Why are you so hot? You just had to whimsically steer things up again to satisfy your curiosity. Everything tilts around you, regardless of whether it gets disturbed, shattered, or at times accomplished.
this is what people call genius.
That's the genius that people talk about.
But you, our star of Hermes, are the gold hidden in the sand on the never-ending beach.
But don't worry, my words are just inconsequential grains of sand compared to you, the star of Hermes. The golden treasures are buried in this endless beach, aren't they? Everyone's willing to play along after all. Flocking to a genius is much more interesting than following an ordinary person. But I played the game and verified it. And I told Sophia there must be a secret to the notebook. Oh, you're the one who won, girl. It was a rare moment. 37 was at a loss for words. Bewildered, she looked at Sophia with a furrowed brow, hoping to hear a judgment strong enough to defeat 210. I agree. 210 is won.
Oh.
No, somebody hug her. Her shoulders slumped as all the inspiration that had driven her thus far vanished in a breath. This time, 37 didn't perk up again. Instead, she hung her head. Did she just fall on the ground? Instead, she hung her head and kicked at some stand before burying her head in her robe like a seabird.
Actually,
It's true. This notebook doesn't contain the wondrous wisdom of the scriptures. The string of numbers could only be solved by me because others didn't know Hugh. 210 was the first to predict the result. That's undeniable.
I think...
But I still believe that 37 achieved her goal too. Sophia's words spared 37 from sinking deeper into the shallow hole she'd already made in the sand with her feet. She froze, waiting to hear what Sophia was going to say next.
Actually,
No matter what you think, It was 37 who first uncovered these numbers, bringing this memory back to me. If it wasn't for her determination, I wouldn't have had the chance to hear the song again. I still remember that 37 told me about the proof of the existence of infinite prime numbers. Sophia smiled at her as 37 nodded, both enthusiastic and confused. My father, Hugh, was a corrector like me. He was the previous person responsible for handling matters of the island. But over time his name faded to obscurity, leaving behind only a sharp-edged cube, a dusty notebook, and a pair of broken glasses. Like the formula 37 once etched on the beach, his memory has long been washed away by the waves. Although Hugh's spirit has returned to its source, you can still hear the melody he left behind. Perhaps the one who first sang the song has been swept away by time, faded into nothingness. But his notes still echo into eternity. And this is why I'm saying, in that sense, music too is eternal. Yeah. But it's still mathematics, which pisses me off. Just as we recall the proof Euclid penned over 2,000 years ago. Like 37 said, the power of proof lies in its simplicity and universality. This tune holds a certain universality too.
Actually,
yes, it's not a mathematical theory in the truest sense, and it doesn't speak to the essence. It's only a gleaming shard, left by Hugh, like grains of sand reflecting faint light on the shore. Yet, this universality allows it to persist through time, crossing vast spaces and arriving at this moment and place. Let's take a moment to listen to the song, to simply listen. The disputes and differences dissolved in the soft breath of a breeze. The beach returned to silence, and only the melody lingered. I wanted a cutscene for this one. And we finally reached the end, AR8, Endless Shoreline. I used to think other people's opinions didn't matter to 37. Even in the most heated arguments, she never paid them much attention. With ordinary eyes, it's difficult to perceive changes in the vastness beyond us. But now I understand how to notice them. The faint scrape of fingers brushing over geometry, the different grains of sun to scoop up when I bent over. The changes are slow and gradual, but they're there. The polar star had risen high, and the Star of Hermes game had ended. It was time to head back to the room filled with scattered papers. 37, what's on your mind? 37's steps were unusually slow. She wondered if the verdict had hit her harder than she predicted. The ever-scrupulous corrector began to regret her decision. Perhaps it would have been better for 6 to maintain the balance. Sophia? 37 started somberly, her words flatter than usual. I hope I didn't waste your time. Oh my god. Full circle, I can't. I'm not gonna get emotional. Do you think it was all just a pointless game? Please say no. The doubt spilled out of her, eagerly awaiting an answer. Of course not. That song means a lot to me. It's a precious memory. Are you upset, 37? You didn't seem so down when we listened to the song earlier. Well, that's because he had such a lovely cadence, and he sang it so well. Her praise came sincerely and quickly, no doubt about it. But what surprised me was when you mentioned that proof about infinite primes. I remember it, but I have no idea when I told you about it. Of course I remember 37. It was a beautiful proof. I'll always remember it, but that didn't comfort her much. Distractedly, 37 grabbed at her hair. So, have I messed up your memories of you? Barging in, disrupting your memories and leaving a mess behind? Sophia's widened her eyes slightly. 37, are you still bothered by what 210 said? She averted her eyes. That was rare. What's so funny? Oh, is she mad? Sorry, I just never thought I'd see you care about something, he said. You're right, you really have changed a lot after all.
Sure.
Of course. Didn't I tell you that? It's not just my height. I've even changed where I sit at the table. As the distance between me and the table changes, so does the best angle for catching the sun. I'm not talking about height or seats. Sophia shook her head with a soft smile. It was a gentle, rare, loving gesture. 37. Do you know why I've never forgotten that proof about infinite primes?
Actually,
Because it made me ponder such distant things for the first time. Before, I didn't care about what eternity meant. It felt like nothing. Some faraway
I
motion.
think...
Now I stand here, fully aware that the island under our feet will one day disappear, washed away like sand by the tide. But I also believe some things will endure, like grains of gold buried in the silt. The island was vast enough to house an entire school of thought. It was also so small, a speck in the waves. And we, living amidst it, could only remember fleeting moments. Yes, because the world we see is transient. 37 noted seriously this topic was more familiar to have him discuss in dinner plans. He shared it with me because of the eternity and beauty that the infinite holds and its universally true nature. From then on, I've seen the gold in the sands. And in turn, I shared Hugh's song with you. If it brought you joy, that means it has meaning for you too.
Perhaps...
Maybe it's not the transcendent instance you were seeking, but those who hear the song will feel it, remember it, maybe even hum it one day. That is universal beauty too.
Oh!
So that's it! I get it now! The confusion vanished from 37's face, and she returned all at once to her usual cheerful self. This song isn't just for you and Sophie anymore, because you shared it with us, right? So it's universal and belongs to everyone who hears it, just like the proof I shared with you. Why are you laughing again, Sophia?
Never mind.
It's nothing. I'm just thinking about how you're always turning everything into a proof to understand it, when it's as simple as enjoying music with friends. I suppose I still can't quite grasp the kind of simplicity. 37 thought hard about this, puzzling over it like a new problem. But thankfully, she soon had a new idea as always. Sharing is really a solid argument. I bet 210 would struggle to argue against it. I knew my viewpoint was right. I'm going to tell him right away. She's more competitive than she looks. 37 hurried off and caught up with 210, who was leafing through another magazine.
Meaning?
What now? Sophia's declared on one and nothing can change that.
Object!
You were just a spectator, making random guesses while I uncovered a valuable song. Believe what you want, I've said enough today. I like a bit of peace and quiet now. He deliberately slowed it down, trailing behind Sophia and 37. 37 took it as 210 conceding, and her steps became light as air. Well, except for some trivial details, everything went smoothly today.
A perfect number.
It's the number 9, the trinity of peace, friendship, and harmony. Absolutely perfect. Oh, that's right. 37 turned to Sophia with a sudden recollection, a joyful smile spreading across her face.
Sophia!
Come on, Sophia, give me your hand.
There you go.
This is for you. The feathers, shells, and pebbles formed a lovely decorative chain. There was a lone pebble next to it. Is this for me?
Sure.
Of course, and this one, I found it on the beach just now. The pattern forms a fantastic number. You can add it to your chain or, give it a toss into the waves.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, 37.
That's great!
I came to the beach this morning to give it to you. But I found myself sidetracked and completely forgot.
It's all right. They are beautiful.
I really appreciate your gift. That's great. Shall we hang out again tomorrow, Sophia? I'll catch up with my research in no time. Oh, the day after tomorrow could work too. We could make this a regular island activity. Now was the time, relaxed and pleasant enough, for her to ask what she had left unsaid.
Is everything, all of it, just about this number? Does it explain everything?
37. Do all these numbers have this infinite meaning to you?
Sure.
Of course. 37 answered without missing a beat. So 37 is just one number in the infinite progression? If it's not, what else could it be? 210, 37, 6. Even if we're gone, these numbers won't disappear.
For instance,
Just like you don't need these 3 seagulls, 3 stones, or 3 people to prove the number 3 exists. Numbers exist outside of all that.
thank you.
37. I think I understand your answer. I've got some other things to take care of. Let's hang out later if there's time. Deal.
Oh,
Wait, Ass is 6 coming back. 37 waved at the dot on the horizon as a seagull swooped above them. She sprang up, greeting the leader. Good morning, 6. 210 and I had a disagreement over something. But the sequence, it's connected to a song.
Afraid I don't know much about songs.
But it's only logical, isn't it? Is there any doctrine from our past that fits the situation? Thinking things through can help purify one's intellect.
We need.
Perhaps a period of quiet contemplation would be helpful.
fine.
That doesn't suit me well, I'm afraid. Alright, I'll come up with more convincing new arguments on my own. It was clear that 37 wasn't satisfied with 6's suggestion. The debate would keep going in the coming days. Watch your step or you'll trip.
It's like this.
Don't worry, as long as I stick to the right order of steps, I won't fall. Don't forget we've got to hurry or we'll miss the meal time. That seagull looks as starved as her. We could calculate the seagull's speed by counting steps. Where did we stop counting? You can spend all day counting seagulls on the beach tomorrow.
Well, that's outstanding.
That could be the topic for the next essay. Planning to cover up a weak argument with a bunch of superfluous dribble again? Alright, you two, let's pick up the pace. There are other ways to figure out its speed.
284 steps.
Okay, nerd.
Thank you.
Thank you, 6. And the time it took us to get here is... Aww. Achievement! Origin of games. Okay, we made it! Let's share some thoughts though before we move on. I like this very much, and I will make a point for 210, regardless of simping, because, you know, I can be objective, I'm not that obsessed. If it was Medicine Pocket, then yes, I would be using all kinds of excuses to say that he's perfect. But no, I'm not that obsessed with 210, and I can see it objectively as well. Anyway, I love the story. It showed us so much depth. I will analyze each character more when I make a separate video for them, if I manage to at some point. But yeah, this was very interesting. It showed us their childhood. It showed us how they developed in the future, and how, despite the arguments, or rather disagreements, it was more like a disagreement, but yeah, these people are obsessed with numbers, okay? They believe in them and in the universality of them and all. And they don't value things the way, for example, Sophia did. But still you can see that even through their conversations, and even though they say they don't take them seriously, emotions are still there. Because they want to pretend like, you know, yeah, we don't care what people think. Oh, the numbers is all that matters. Emotions don't matter. Death doesn't matter. Like, because they all go back to their original state, as 37 put it. But you can see that they're still very much emotional people. And even 37 that is especially focused on numbers so much that she analyzes everything and tries to look for a meaning behind everything in numerical forms, still felt bad about what 210 said, because she didn't want to harm Sophia. She enjoys her company, and she, just like Sophia said, you have changed. She has become more emotional because through her relationship with Sophia, she has also learned to be more emotional, just like Sophia has learned to understand numbers through her friendship with 37. So yeah, it was really well structured, the pacing, like the details. I don't know what else to say. I really liked this one as a backstory. I mean, compared to Charmaine's, for example, that really aggravated me. this was nice because Charmaine's was a bit of a one-note situation, and I wish I had seen other parts of his backstory and not his quest to finding himself through the forest and finding the strength to forgive himself for what happened with his family, you know. And it also made me love 37 because, like I said, at first I didn't care much, but now I think she's actually very cute and I want to put her in my palms and hold her and keep her safe from from harm. But yeah, I'm so mad that Sophia and 210 are not playable. Really mad because they gave them so much depth. And don't get me wrong, they've given depth to other non-playable characters before, but they made us feel for Sophia, so that you cannot just tell us that we won't be able to have her. I mean, even with Schneider, and I'm gonna say this, spoiler alert if you haven't played the second and third chapter, no, just the second chapter of the game, even Schneider that is no longer alive is playable, so why can we have Sophia that is very much alive, or 210, you know? It would have been entertaining, I think. But yeah, let's go to chapter 5 though, enough talking. Boo! You didn't expect to see me there, did you? So the video ended up longer than I expected and I had to separate into parts. So yeah, we'll close this one here and you can go watch the rest of it in part 2. If you don't want to watch it, it's totally okay. Anyway, it's just rereading part 3 and 4 of chapter 5. There's no gameplay included. However, I will mention by the end what else we'll be doing next time for Reverse, if you want to check it out. Anyway, I put timestamps, you can find the specific spot and not watch the full thing. But yeah, if you don't, it's totally okay. You might as well choose to not find out what's going to happen in the next Reverse video. Maybe you want it to be a surprise, I don't know. If you wish to part ways with me here this week, I still wanted to thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please do consider liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell so let you know when the next video is going to be up. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!